So talking about some teams that have had some pretty good work from their management group, the Detroit Lions were a team I looked at this last season, Brendan. A lot of people thought early they were right on track with the second year of Dan Campbell to win 3 or 4 games. And it wasn't necessarily looking like they were taking that big step forward in terms of wins. But they end the season, they even get into the thick of the playoff race. And moving into this offseason, they do have a lot of key free agents, but also important developments. Their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, is sticking around, which is huge. But in terms of UFAs, they've got DJ Chark, who's spending some time off injury. He's a pretty huge piece. Built a little bit of chemistry with Jared Goff. Michael Brockers, Jamal Williams, who was a touchdown machine, Deshaun Elliott, Isaiah Buggs. When you look at the Lions this offseason, what do you think is the biggest need for this team, and how can they take that next step forward to winning the NFC North, not just being in the thick of it with 8 wins?
Well, listen, they do have a lot of free agents, right? I'm looking at the list right now. It's a pretty laundry list. The biggest name, I think. Sorry, John. I was reading something. Did you go over some of the names?
Yeah, I read over some of the bigger ones.
Like Jamal, yeah, Jamal Williams. I think he's probably the biggest one. Would you say? Or am I
No,
missing somebody?
because you can draft a running back. I would say the biggest one would probably be Michael Brockers and then DJ.
Why is Michael Brockers not popping up on me? Whatever. Okay, that's fair. You have the running back statement, and you have DeAndre Swift, so you can always just get another running back. One thing I'm looking at right now, it pops off. They have 2 firsts and 2 seconds, and that's just awesome. And I don't think they should trade any of those picks. It's looking real good for them. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback. Maybe they take one in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? Like somebody behind.
Dorian Thompson Robinson of UCLA in the third is like a project quarterback.
Yeah, something like that. But I think that they like Goff. I think Campbell likes Goff. He's kind of a quarterback that you can kind of mold into your own guy. They've got the receivers.
They do. Jameson Williams being healthy.
Oh yeah. Didn't they? I'm blanking. Didn't they have a tight end that was pretty good? Or
TJ Hawkinson.
Oh, they trade. They traded TJ Hawk. Okay,
they're gonna have to pay him, and he was underutilized. So
yeah. There any big tight end projects in this draft?
There are. There's one Michael Mayer of Notre Dame. The guy looks like an actor. He's going to be a top 15 pick. He'll be there when they select shortly at number 6. And their second first-round pick, after winning 9 games, it's weird to see the Lions with the 18th overall selection, but that's where they stand, right outside the top 20.
Yep. So where, John, if you're the Detroit Lions, if you're the GM, or if you're Dan Campbell, where do you go with those 2 first-round picks? How do you play that out?
Offensively, I'm good at receiver, but the interior offensive line, I think, can be built up a little bit more. So I look at, let's say, the right guard spot and left guard. You can definitely take that, though, with that 18th overall pick. I think at 6, they're going to go defensive front, because you look at the defense, Aiden Hutchinson last season, and then James Houston as a rookie took off. 7 sacks to end the season. He was lights out for them as an edge rusher. And I think the next step is getting that interior defensive end, or maybe it is another outside linebacker to pair alongside Aiden Hutchinson, like a Tyree Wilson. And this class has a lot of those really good defensive players.
So I think we're gonna talk about this, later on when we cover the Eagles. But I mean, we can talk about it now because this is a team that's been linked to a trade of a possible reunion. Do you think it would be smart if the Lions go get Darius Slay and bring a reunion back, or you think they should stay away?
I don't think so. Yeah. Given where they're at as a team, Slay, it's kind of funny. They trade him. Now he's back on the market, but I'll be looking to go younger at cornerback. He's already on the wrong side of 30. And while he has produced this last season, that was in a Lions defense that had a way better pass rush. The Lions are developing that, but I would stay true to this timeline personally.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, because I don't know what you're gonna have to give up, but I don't want to give up any of my first 4 picks in this draft because I just like where they're slotted. Man, dude, if the Lions hit on these picks, dude, I'm gonna say it right now: the Detroit Lions are winning the NFC North. I'm booking it right now. The Detroit Lions are winning the NFC North.
Hot take. What's the record going to be? 10 wins, 12 wins? What are you talking about here?
Depending on their draft, I think that 10, 11.
They do have 4 picks in the top 55. They
Yes.
got the second rounder from Minnesota in the back end, and they're own at 48, and you've got another in the third round. I'm in agreement with you. I think they're going to win this division, but the biggest thing is going to be building up that defensive front more and more on the interior. If they
Yes.
don't do that, they're going to have a tough time beating the likes of Chicago, Green Bay. They're going to run the football at nauseum. They're going to set that physical tone. You need that in this NFC North.
I agree. I just like where the Lions are headed. I'm a big Dan Campbell fan, so let's go Detroit, man. You finally got something to look forward to. It just sucks that when Stafford leaves, this team starts to actually, look good and start building around their pieces.
But is that really a coincidence? We see this all the time. Whether it's the Falcons moving Matt Ryan or the Seahawks moving Russell Wilson, when you get rid of the quarterback making a lot of money on average team, you get a bunch of draft picks, you get an influx of salary cap spending, and you then reset the timeline of the new head coach. I feel like that was the sacrifice you had to make to get out the rat race. And I look at their team, there's one more hole to me, and that is running back, I think. Jamal Williams, touchdown machine. Love his character, great leader. But I want to see him take another back because DeAndre Swift's vision this last year was not very good, and
He's
he was
still
getting a
injury
lot of
prone.
carries taken away from him due to that. I think in the third round, one running back, one of my favorites at a pit, Israel Abanikanda. Abrabanka. It's hard to pronounce his last name, but he was a wrecking ball this last year at Pitt, one of the best running backs in college football. And he's not supposed to go in the first couple of rounds. Maybe he'll fall to day 3. And I think a smaller back like that, just tough as nails, good top end speed, and he's pretty good in between the tackles. That's something the Lions really could add into this group because offensively, you already have 3 receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, arguably the best slot in football over just 2 seasons. Jameson Williams is going to take the top off, and then DJ Chark can add that other element on the outside. But you want another back in there, especially as insurance, because who knows, maybe another team out there does give Jamal Williams a contract that you're not willing to match. Jamal is good, but he reminds me of James Conner a year ago. I'm not spending $6-7 million to retain him. Or would you? Would you, I guess, is the question, because he is that type of leader and teammate. I'm not quite sure.
Would I pay that to retain Jamal Williams? No, I don't think so. I mean, he was a touchdown machine, but like we've said before, running backs are just a dime a dozen. You can get a running back almost at any point in time. So no, I think that you hit the nail on the head. In one of the guard positions, tight end position, maybe in the second round. The guard, like I said, should be one of the first round picks. Defensive line or linebacker should be one of the first round picks, and then secondary, I think, should be one of the second or third round picks. And I think that you're looking great.
Agreed, because Jeff Okudah last year played well. You need a second corner, and then good at tackle, just not ideal at guard.